Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. We asked you here today to provide some updated information regarding the early morning homicide from Sunday, the 25th, near 19th and O. Addressing you today will be Chief Ewens, and then also available for any additional questions would be Assistant Chief of Operations Stilley and Commander of our investigators, Miller. As usual, if you have any questions, please hold them until the end of prepared statements. And with that, Chief Ewens.
Good afternoon, everybody. The purpose of this press conference is to provide an update into the homicide which occurred in the area of 19th Street and O Street Sunday morning. On September 25th at 12:06 a.m., the Lincoln police officers responded to a report of a male who had been shot in the alley near 19th and O Street. A firearm and two different calibers of shell casings were located at the scene. Officers in Lincoln Fire and Rescue medics located a male suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the head and upper body and attempted life-saving measures. Tragically, the victim, identified as 33-year-old Robert Brannon of Omaha, was declared deceased at the scene. We've been working with the family of the victim. Our condolences go out to his family and friends. Due to the hard work of our responding officers, investigators, and crime scene technicians, we would like to announce the arrest of Rasta Fletcher for the murder of Mr. Brannon. He was lodged today for first-degree murder. At the scene, investigators scoured the area for surveillance video and were able to locate several that captured the shooting. The video shows the individuals encountering each other behind the local business in the alley. Mr. Fletcher produced a firearm and began firing at Mr. Brannon. Mr. Brannon went to the ground. Mr. Fletcher stood over him and at close range fired once more at Mr. Brannon. The suspect then fled south from the scene. The reason behind the violent encounter is unknown at this time. Based on other video in the area, our investigators were able to identify Mr. Fletcher as a suspect in this case and began looking for him. At approximately 10:45 a.m. today, Mr. Fletcher was located at 35th and Van Dorn Street and was taken into custody without incident. Based on video, we know that several people witnessed this incident, and we believe they have information that will be helpful to investigators. We encourage these individuals or anyone with information on this case to call either 402-441-6000 or make an anonymous report to Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600. With that, I'll take questions if you have some.
Do you know if they knew each other in any way?
We're still looking into that.
Were they at that business at any point? Do you know?
We're still, the other people in the video can really clarify that for us so we can understand a little bit more about why the interaction occurred to begin with. So we would love to know that.
What kind of firearm casings and what firearms did you find on the scene?
Did you want to answer that question?
The firearm located at the scene was a semi-automatic handgun, and there was all the casings located at the scene were also from a semi-automatic handgun.
And have you found, I guess, the suspected murder weapon in it, or?
That'll have to go out to be examined before we can actually say.
Well, I guess, if there's two cases, we found the second weapon that was involved.
Possibly a second weapon. So when he was picked up, he did not have a weapon with him this morning. So we only can speculate at this point, in which we really need to get the forensic back so we can actually say definitively.
Did you guys have to warn the neighborhood where you were in at the time to notify people just to stay indoors or to shelter in place while you guys were looking for him? Is there a shelter in place order at all?
You want me to take care of it?
Yeah, please.
So you're probably familiar that we work closely with Lincoln Public Schools, and that's very close to Southeast High School. So I was in communication with the security director there, making them aware. They handle their protocols as they see fit. We just provide them some of that information that something's happening in their area.
And I guess you kind of already touched on this, but is it clear if they were, have they been together at all throughout the night, or is anything that led up to this you can say more about?
As you can imagine in these, there's a lot of video to go through, some in businesses, some in around businesses. So we're going through all of that right now to see if they were together at any point, if there was anything that happened prior to the shooting, but right now we just don't have that.
This marks, I think, 10 homicides in the county this year, 8 in the city, all of which have come since the middle of May. It's kind of an intense streak of violence for Lincoln. I guess, is there anything you could say to assure residents or, people who have concerns and have addressed them on social media?
They have concerns, and we have concerns as well about the violence in our city. Looking at the trailing 5 years, this is the most shooting incidents and the most shooting victims that we've had. And I will just say to that crime prevention is a community responsibility. Certainly our officers are going out there, making arrests, developing cases, trying to present the best case to give to the county attorney's office. But we also need people to come forward and tell us the things that they know. And this case, it highlights that. Based on video, we know that people witnessed this shooting, and they need to come forward and give us the information that they have. If they have video, if they have more information about any interaction that they had prior in the evening, this is a community problem, and we need to handle it as a community. So we will do our part, but we need people to come forward and help us out.
To your question, Andrew, I think, we also have to look at the fact that a lot of these shootings were gang-related. People's anger towards each other cannot always be about grabbing a firearm. That can't be the solution. And so we need to make sure that we understand that throughout our community, firearms are not the answer to an argument. Either is picking up a knife. And so we need to be clear as a community. I mean, are we going to be serious about that fact? Our guns, guns are very easy to get. A lot of our cars being broken into. Some of them, guns are stolen. Sometimes people don't even know for weeks, if not months, if their gun was actually taken. And so the availability of these guns is so important because we can actually stop that from happening. So people need to secure their guns, make sure they know where it is, and do the right thing. But, these arguments, a lot of them are spur of the moment type of reaction. I don't know about, we're still looking into this case, but we really have to examine it. We try to deter as much as we can when it comes to gangs because our gang unit is working around the clock with other cities. And so if we can stop that violence from even happening before we know it's going to happen, then that's a huge win. And so anyone that has information about that, we want to stop it before it starts. And so that's an important aspect that people need to understand.
I guess, are you guys investigating whether there was gang involvement in either of this weekend's shootings?
We look at that for every case. But yes, we will be looking into that as well. We don't have anything at this point.
With the other people you said were at the scene that might have seen anything, do you think any of those people were related to either of the people involved?
We don't know that as of yet.
Question for Captain Miller. You probably work closest with the investigative unit. What is this kind of rash of violence meant for your investigators who were called there in the middle of the night and have to kind of spring into action? What does that do to that unit?
Well, it creates a lot of sleepless nights for them. They've been fantastic, though. When we call at midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they're quick to answer and respond because they want to do the right thing and help. But they've been working really hard, and certainly it becomes frustrating when these things continue to go on. But it certainly is a kind of a light at the end of the tunnel when we're able to make arrests so quickly on these cases. So they've been working hard, and I think they have a good attitude with it. So.
Yeah, let me remind you that the closure rate for homicides is over 100%. I mean, they work very, very diligently. The officers on the street, our crime scene technicians, as well as our investigators. It's a lot of hard work, and it takes many, many hours to get to that point of prosecution. Any other questions?
I know this press conference was directly related to this homicide, but do you guys have any updates on the shooting into the crowd?
Do you have anything further?
No, I don't have anything new on that.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.